We are living a time with fast-growing population everywhere, with a very fast-growing water demand, interspecific water demand, and even with decreasing water potential. So this dynamic situation leads to a very, very delicate pressure on the societies, and we have to consider how we can manage these contradicting developments. We overuse our water sources from point of quantity and from quality.
We're really in the midst of a global water crisis.
And this means we need people like each and every one of you who really can take a holistic perspective and try and understand complex challenges and possible solutions.
The main goal of the year's course is to inform the young people and empower them to make a difference in their local settings. I felt like it's something I needed because I realized it was a multidisciplinary, multicultural setting, and also the thrill of visiting a new place. According to the syllabus, it looked like I was going to learn something more.
A very different learning experience compared to my university education before gave me a great plus in my professional life.
It was fantastic, and my biggest take-home message was that I could actually live a life working with the environment in a way that would still sustain my own goals as a person, and make money and make a career in the environment, which I didn't think I could do before I came to YES.
I feel that what connects me and what keeps me grounded is people, culture, the environment, and the small experiences that we have, like something like here, being in the desert and being underneath this beautiful open sky.
The YES experience is just something that's very difficult to describe, and you really have to go through to understand the amazing time that you have sharing your passion with other like-minded young people.
People are highly motivated, they are already highly educated, and it's really a pleasure to work with them. And even for me, it's a pleasure because they have questions, they have really tough questions.
We've been running the YES course for over 10 years now, and we have a network of over 900 alumni in 100 different countries. This is a really, really high potential network of young, motivated, intelligent people, and we were really looking for ways to start leveraging their potential to contribute even more than what they already do to their local communities and the world at large.
I've been involved in working in those places for a long time now with our students, and they've been very inspiring for me. Having such a group in this location and linking it to our topic, which is water for sustainability, sounded like the perfect place and the perfect match for such course.
Discussing water in a desert, I think that makes sense.
Whenever you are connected to the actual problem, you tend to think about it in a much more meticulous way, I would say. And having seen these water problems in this area, it does make us think in a much more focused way.
How do they manage digging different wells so that they never run out? Do they test how much water is left until it's going to be dry and then start digging in advance?
ازاي بتعرفوا انه يعني عشان تيجي تحفر بير تاني تعرف ازاي انه ده هينشف مثلا فتبتدي تحفر بير تاني في حتة تانية؟ They observe the water, for example, in this well, and if they see it's decreasing, so they just keep digging on the same well, and then they try to see from which direction the water is coming.
I think learning in context is especially important, and through experiences. And being here in the desert, we gain an understanding of real issues of water scarcity. In terms of a greater understanding of global and local water challenges, I felt that I could learn a great deal from the program.
We should be aware that water supply and sanitation, specifically sanitation, is not a technical issue. It cannot be installed. It is a social issue, and you have to work with people, you have to talk to people. If you go into this issue, you start a social process, and that's why we have to look for this process. How can we initiate it? And we cannot give immediately the answer.
In all places that I've visited, the common denominator was the inaccessibility to health service as well as other services. Basically, we provide health services, we examine the patients and give them treatment, as well as dental care, because we have a volunteer dentist who comes with us We also focus on things that are sustainable. So what she's doing is that she's putting 2 teaspoonfuls of sodium carbonate in 1.5 liter water bottle. And now she is putting the alum particles in the other bottle. I was asking her, how do you know which is which, the bottle of carbonate and the bottle of alum? She said, I'm clever.
One of the ways the Betterment Support Program comprised not only the health program, but it comprised support. And we also started looking at issues such as income generation, and we had a project which is very successful, the most successful project for income generation amongst women in Egypt, still operating here, called Fansina, and I hope you get to see it.
We had a very comprehensive selection process for this course. As I mentioned, we have 900 alumni in the network, and for this particular course we had around 100 of them applying, and we had just 20 places. Of course, looking at a merit-based approach, so who had been engaged heavily in initiatives locally after they went to the YES course, who had shown leadership qualities. We had 3 main goals with this course. Firstly, to bring together the really high potential members of the alumni network to strengthen their engagement and their involvement with the network. Secondly, to allow them to develop a deeper understanding of certain issues related to sustainability, in this case water and sustainability, and to gain a holistic understanding of the issues involved. And thirdly, we were looking for more opportunities to stimulate concrete on-the-ground action in the form of projects that could be carried out after the course.
We break into 4 groups which focus on different education for primary schools or civil society mobilization, but that comes together in one project which is like a resource pack.
I would suggest to think very, very basic and practical, which makes it very focused. We're actually developing a little plot for a role play that we will do with the kids from the local community.
There was a time when there was enough water in the valleys.
كان في موية كفاية في الوادي في الوديان.
There was rain.
كان في مطر.
We can do that as well.
Basically the whole play is 3 scenes, and we are handling the history component, which is Act 1. The rest of the group is doing Act 2, which reflects what's happening now.
We are trying to show what's the situation now with water, with the sanitation, with the health, with the kids, with the school.
They've actually dealt directly with the communities, which was also a great opportunity for the locals to get different perspectives, to learn about different cultures, to also learn that other people who are not exactly from the same culture do care and do want to learn more about their cultures.
The children have a lot of ideas, have a lot of information about their area, about the water issue. But in fact, we just maybe somehow structured their stories from the father. That's not just a story.
Because it's important to adjust our approach to the local context in every country that we go back to.
I'm really happy with how the project development has turned out. I've seen a real evolution in the participants from when they began in their first YES course to their involvement in this course.
An example of what a page would look like for the book. So if we could just figure out maybe a rough format. So a recipe here, graph of water usage / CO2 / whatever. Like a pop-up box over here saying that beef is particularly important in Argentina.
And we talked about 4 of the main drivers of water scarcity. Does anybody know what one of them is?
Climate change.
Climate change. Excellent. That's one. So we got climate change. Food production, yes. We've got our water cops, our water accountant, I'm sorry, Christina, and our CO2 accountant, Mitten. Neither contestant has been told what they'll be cooking yet, and we'll have 4 rounds. Each round, the contestant will choose an ingredient. At the end of the round, our water accountant and our CO2 accountant will let the contestant know how much they've used. It will be judged on, first, deliciousness, second, the CO2 footprint, and third, the water footprint. Chris, what are you going to choose next?
For my cheese, I'm using good Australian Parmesan.
April.
I use mozzarella cheese here.
All right, mozzarella.
1 ton of carbon for mozzarella.
Oh.
1 ton of carbon for Chris.
All right, still tied up on the CO2. But what about water, Christina?
That makes 1 water for Thailand and 3 water.
Oh no!
The energy that they have when they come together is something that's very unique, and I think the project work really allowed them to capitalize that and to direct this energy into meaningful on-the-ground projects.
I think the YES Alumni Network is this almost like a sleeping giant. We have this network of incredibly motivated and passionate students from a variety of disciplines and cultures across the world. I think as individuals we're all making changes in our own communities through going through the YES experience and being empowered to do so. And I think there's great potential as a network to make change.
Let's not get too crazy on the angle here.
It's important.
Perfecto momento.